Hey, this is Reverend Bill. I got the nice background of the basketball hoop celebrating the Celtics beating the Cavaliers last night that were undefeated. So, once again, the Celtics have pretty much proved themselves to be the team to beat, at least in the East. Oh, excuse me. Um, so that was good. Uh, Before I begin, there's a couple of things I want to mention. First of all, yesterday's was a movie flops, and I don't believe how I missed this one. But right when I clicked end, it occurred to me that I missed a major one, which was Madam Web. I don't know how that possibly escaped my mind, but it did. Um, that had a budget of about 100 million, I believe, or maybe it was like 80 million, and it brought in, uh, maybe it brought in like 80. I don't know, 100. It was basically all said and done. The movie lost about 150 million dollars. So it certainly did belong in that movie list. I know that um, it was a complete embarrassment uh, for the actresses. Uh, I don't think any of them are going to suffer any long term uh, damage from it. I think it was just a movie that everyone knew was going to be bad. And I think Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, and I don't recall the other two. But I mean, Sydney Sweeney's now like the new Scarlett Johansson. She's going to be fine. Dakota Johnson could tell from her interviews for the movie she didn't even want to talk about it. So I think everyone knew from the get go it was going to be a bust. I don't think anyone's blaming the actresses, and they shouldn't. The other thing that I want to come across is very interesting. It was from Zachary Levi, or Levi, I don't know how you pronounce his name, to be honest with you, who plays Captain Marvel in the DC Shazam movies. And I guess he's conservative Republican, good for him. And he was saying how he knows there's a lot of Republicans in Hollywood. They don't come out; they're hiding. And all the celebrities came out for Kamala Harris, and he put out a little piece saying that if these guys are worried about speaking their mind for Trump or for the conservative ideas because they're worried about ruining their careers, he said, don't, because he thinks Hollywood's dying. He said, so you're giving up your principles for an industry that's not going to be around in a couple of years. Now, the reason I bring that up is he's not the first one that I've heard say this. I think Sydney Sweeney, speaking of which, has actually moved out of LA and gone to Florida. I know a lot of actors are making their way. Idris Elba has gone to Africa to make movies. I think a lot of people, for whatever reason, are abandoning Hollywood, and I think the writing's on the wall. I'm not saying I'm happy about it or that I'm not happy about it. I really don't have an opinion. I guess what I'm trying to say though is at least a few people in Hollywood that use Hollywood to live, to have a livelihood, are convinced that that Hollywood, between COVID and then the writer's strike and then the actor's strike, there's just, and last week, I got to be honest with you, I had a day off where I didn't really know what to do. And I went on the internet trying to find something to see, and just nothing tickled me. I just went on YouTube, and just looked at the videos there. Why pay money when there's nothing? In the last year, I think the only thing I've kind of been excited about was Wolverine versus Ryan Reynolds. Why can't I think about it? Whatever. I'll think of his name in a second. So stupid. but I couldn't even really get up for that. So yeah, I didn't see it. I haven't seen it. They want $5.99, I think, or they want $12.99 to watch it. Um, but I don't know. I'll wait till it's on Netflix or something and watch it on that or Prime. Um, so anyway, I just wanted to mention those things. Okay, today I thought that I would do something a little lighthearted on things that annoyed me. And I would like you afterwards to comment if these things annoy you. Uh, and if I missed anything out, which I've got quite a few here, um, then yeah, by all means, let me know if I've missed anything out. The first one I have that drives me absolutely insane are people that whistle. Um, I don't know why they do it. I'm convinced they're doing it to annoy me. I mean, I'm sitting there, in a quiet room, and someone just comes in and decides to whistle for no reason at all when I'm trying to concentrate. Um, just absolutely drives me nuts. Deadpool. Okay, I got it now. I think I just had a memory lapse there. Deadpool and Wolverine. I knew it would come to me. I've had one of those days where, like, you forget your address or something. It's like, oh, I should know it. Well, anyway, I got it. Deadpool. I knew it would come to me sooner or later. Okay, maybe I'm getting too old. So whistling. Another one. Okay, this is a big one. When you're coming out of a street, and there's perpendicular, you're here, and a car's coming in, and it's coming, and it's coming, starts to slow down. You're like, come on, get past me, get past me. And the closer it gets, the slower it gets. And you suddenly realize what's going to happen. And he stops right in front of you, puts his directional on, and takes a right. Like, really? Had you just done that to begin with, I would have been half a mile down the street. And a lot of times, he slows down so much, traffic begins to build up behind him. So when he finally takes that right, you still can't go because now you got to deal with traffic that wasn't there before. God, I hate that. Oh, another one while we're on driving. I hate when you're driving down the street and someone pulls out and cuts you off when you've got miles of nothing behind you. He's just got to cut you off. He can't wait for you to go by so that he can pull out, at his leisure. And then usually he cuts you off, and that's the most aggressive thing he does in his life. And then he goes, oh, that was dangerous. I got to slow down. And then, of course, he goes 10 miles under the speed limit now that he's cut you off and he's in front of you. Yeah, I get, let's see. How about people that purposely mispronounce names? Like, I know somebody who would refuse to say Marilyn Monroe. It was always Marlon Monroe. It's like, it's not Marlon, it's Marilyn. There's a Y in there. Another one, which is kind of humorous, is when the Marlins baseball team first came up, it was called the Florida Marlins. And this guy always called it was Eddie Andelman, by the way, a sports host who always mispronounced names. Used to drive me nuts, but he was funny, so I used to listen to him. And he used to call them the Miami Marlins, but the name was Florida Marlins. And what really irritated me was a few years into it, they changed the name to Miami Marlins, so he became right. Although, for all I know, he started calling the Florida Marlins, and I don't know. But yeah, I mean, people purposely mispronounce names, and that kind of drives me nuts. Of course, all these things are just, to drive me insane. I'm convinced of it. Oh, here's a good one. Touchy people, they have to touch things. These are the kind of people where they go into an elevator and they want to go to the 8th floor, and the 8th floor is lit up, but they have to go and touch it anyway. Or here's one that really drives me nuts. Or let's say I'm showing them something on my computer screen at work. And I'm like, yeah, there it is right there. And they're like, oh, that? And they've got to touch my screen and put a fingerprint on it. I'm like, don't touch my computer screen. Like, I just did this, and they touch it again. Oh, God. Worse even. People that sit in your car, usually during winter, and it fogs up. There's a thing called a defogger or a defroster, and it blows all that away and it clears it out. You don't have to get in there with your hand and rub my windshield. That means I've got to go in there and I've got to clean it. And windshields are not easy to clean, but I am not having all that smudge all over my windshield all winter long because you just can't wait 5 minutes. I think you should be able to dope slap people that do that, actually. And then they should clean your windshield. Anyway. Oh, another one. I'm not sure if this is a technical thing, because I worked in the technical field for many years. But they say, do the needful. Do the needful what? You know, I know you don't know what needs to be done, but could you at least put a noun in the sentence? Do the needful what? Acts, troubleshooting. Why would they just leave a sentence dangling without a noun? It's ridiculous. Didn't you go to second grade English? Oh my goodness. Doing the needful. I'll do the needful and punch you in the head next time you say that to me. Okay. Oh, this is an oldie, but I think this one's actually more in Georgia. Certainly, I didn't notice this in Boston. People standing. Usually, if they have those motorized chairs, or if not, a big cart, and they put it in the middle of an aisle, and they stand there browsing, and they make it so no one can pass. You're like, lady, what's this dumper? You're buying kitty litter. You don't know what kitty litter you want? Just grab some. And, they're like oblivious to the fact that you're standing there. And then, of course, what I usually do is I usually go to the next aisle, and there's another one there. It's like every aisle I got to try to get around to go, to get napkins or something. And I'm blocked. It's like a football interference. Anyway, whatever. Okay, kind of in the same boat. People in the register who buy something, usually old people. And I mean, when I buy something, if they give me change, great, grab it, grab the stuff, go. If I gotta put stuff away or, put some bills in my wallet, I step aside and I'll do it in my wallet. I got a few minutes. No, why take up someone else's time? Oh no, they stand there and they check and then to blow their nose and they won't move. And you're standing there going, da, 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 da. Okay. Well, I'm standing in line for 5 minutes waiting for this woman to leave. I don't know. Oh yeah. This is kind of more where I would say this is a problem with liberals, is that they assume because they think that way, everyone thinks that way. I had one person say to me, because they get so brainwashed, they really don't realize that, you might have another opinion. Liberalism is really becoming a disease, I think. Anyway, they were talking about, I don't even know what they were talking about. I don't care. But their point was, they said something like, hey, remember when we all thought gay marriage was wrong, but now we realize how wrong we were? Did I say that? I don't recall. My church certainly didn't say that. The Bible certainly didn't say that. I don't recall getting drunk and saying anything of that sort. What would ever make you think that the church or my religious beliefs have changed just because it's legal now? Don't assume that at all. Just because your views have changed, don't assume my views have changed. It's, I don't know. People that just assume that you think what they think. And, I don't want to be offensive, but don't tell me what I think when you don't even ask. Here's a good one. This is a good one for dating. Or maybe not even dating, but whenever you're with somebody, let's say, actually, it really is dating or when you're married and you're with your wife, and you're talking to them, having dinner or something, and they're just texting. And I don't know. I just don't like to talk to people when they're texting. And they usually say, just talk, I'm listening. No, no, you're not. Not at all. I mean, I've tested that a few times. I know you're not listening. Okay. Oh boy, I get a few more here. All right, buying a car. The salesman, are you on a budget? No, I'm not on a budget. But I don't believe in spending a mortgage on a car. They're trying to bully you into like telling them how much you could pay on a car. I'm not telling them. Why would I tell them? I go in there, I'm thinking, I don't know, whatever. I don't usually buy brand new cars anyway. I think it's ridiculous to buy brand new cars. You drive them a mile down the street, they drop 50% or thereabouts in value. I like to get a car with about 25,000 miles on it, save a lot of money. Um, Anyway, yeah, are you on a budget? No, I'm not on a budget. I'm not going to give you my checkbook here to find out how much I can afford in a car. I know how much I want to pay on a car. I'm not going to pay a penny more. Um, Commercials. This is a big one because I was a projectionist in a movie theater, and they started. There was a polar. No, it was a polar bear commercial. I think it was for Coke. They had a polar bear. Commercial. And I at first said no. I didn't want anyone watching commercials in my theater, which I got I got I got corrected by my district manager, so I had no choice. I still don't think commercials belong in movie theaters. I guess before, if the movie's supposed to start at 7 and you get there at 6:30, and it wants to run, commercials up until I don't know 6:50, I think that's okay. But I mean, if it gets close to showtime, I don't see why you should be subjected to commercials. Let's see what else. Yeah, and Netflix, Hulu. Why are we paying for these if we're going to get commercials? I don't know. And I'm not paying more so that I miss commercials because I did that originally and I'm getting commercials now. So they're just going to keep on hiking it higher. Oh, well, we got all these people, on stage 2. They're paying more money for no commercials. Let's put commercials on and make tier 3 that they'll have to get to. Yeah. Media lying. They don't even hide it anymore. They'll put something like crazed Trump planning to finally roll out Project 2025 in full force starting day one. There'll be no proof. There'll be no facts to back it up. There'll be no validation. They'll just throw it out there like the Star, the Inquirer. No responsibility to the media anymore. They were insisting Trump was for Project 2025 all the way through the election, and I don't know how many times he had to say that he didn't even read it. He has nothing to do with it. Then they tried pinning that on Ben Shapiro too, and Ben Shapiro said, "I know nothing about Project 2025. It's not my pet either." Anyway, yeah, this I don't know. I guess this might be more me than anybody. But I don't like it when you go to order food in a restaurant and it comes with unnecessary stuff they don't warn you about. Like, I'm just not a big sugar fan. So if I order banana pancakes and they put powdered sugar on it, I can't eat that, And I hate sending it back because maybe I should have asked, does it come with powdered sugar? But you forget, you wake up in the morning, you roll out of bed, you go to a restaurant, you order some pancakes, you forget to ask, oh, by the way, do you drown my pancakes in completely unnecessary confectionate sugar? But my wife usually catches that on. So yeah, but another one is celery and tuna salad. Why would you put celery in? And that ruins it for me. I love tuna salad. I hate celery. So why would you stick it in there? I don't know. Oh, another one. I went to a restaurant once with one of my ex-wives, and they brought this beautiful plate of pasta out, and then they cracked a raw egg on top of it. She almost went ballistic. I had to scoop the raw egg off with my fingers and just throw it in my mouth and eat it to save her from getting a brain aneurysm. I'm not even sure that was that was sanitary, eating a raw egg, but whatever. I ate it. Anything to stop a scene. Um, oh, this actually happened to me. In a grocery line in Georgia, of course, a little old lady in front of me. I'm in a hurry. I had some milk with me. I wanted to get, through the line. And she finished. I'm like, okay, great, I'll be out of here. And she stopped and she turned to the cashier and said, have I ever showed you the pictures of my cat? The cashier said, no, let me see. And I was standing there. My milk was expiring while I'm waiting for this woman to show all the pictures of her cat to the cashier. In Boston, they would have shot it. Somebody would have pulled a gun and shot them, I'm convinced. But in Georgia, that's actually common. And I'd be the jerk if I complained. So I just stood there, what are you going to do? Another one. People that schedule meetings at noon. And when you complain, they say, sorry, there is no other time I can get everyone together. Well, there's a reason for that. Because at noon, people eat lunch. No one goes to meetings at noon. But they book it anyway. And then, of course, there goes your lunch hour. Another office thing, loud talkers. You're in the office. As you can tell, I've been a cube dweller for many years. And you're on the phone with the customer, and a loud person comes in, and they act like they're at a keg party. And you just can't shut them up because, you're in a cube. And they just screaming and laughing and hipping and hollering. Not a good time. Also, close talkers, when they talk closely to you, they have to walk within an inch of your face. And then they talk and you're smelling their coffee breath on you as you talk to them. That's kind of unpleasant. Oh boy, I got a lot of them here. Wow. Okay, how about you're in traffic jam, you're not going anywhere, and some bozo behind you acts like you're the main problem. If you can only get in front of you, all his problems will be over. So you're doing the best you can to get along this traffic jam. This idiot's like forcing his way up on the sidewalk or doing what he has to do just to cut you off. I find the best thing to do is just let him go. And then he gets in front of you, he's all happy. What has he bought himself? A half a second tops? I don't know. I think it's just a way of getting his frustration out on me, but, doesn't buy him anything. Let's see. People that tell you the end of a movie and spoil it for you. Yeah, there's a special place in hell for them. Here's a good one. This is one I've actually happened to me a few times. People that tell you a story about something that happened to them, except it didn't happen to them. It happened to you, and they're telling it all wrong. And you've got to say, hey, if you're going to steal my story, at least get it right. That's funny because I've got a lot of stories and people like to steal my stories, which I don't mind because my stories are good, but at least do them justice and get them right. Idiots that blast their music so loud in the car that it vibrates. They couldn't possibly enjoy that. Could you turn it down? And, we're all very impressed with your sound system. Your cars are about to shake to pieces, though. And let me see the last one here. Oh, yeah, here's a big one with me. People that hint at things and don't actually say what's on their mind. It confuses me. Maybe I'm a little bit autistic, not autistic, that's not the one I'm looking for. I don't know, there is a word for it, but I need things. I can't read between the lines. I'll give you a great example that actually happened to me, a couple of them. With my second wife, she used to pick up her daughter from school, who was in middle school. And one day she asked me to pick up her daughter. Asperger's, I think might have a slight tinge of Asperger's in that I don't, for some reason, I just don't get some things. Anyway, so I went to pick her up, And we're driving home. And she says, "What's down here?" I thought, what a strange question. What's down here? Well, she was about 12. So I figured, okay, well, strange child. There's some houses and there's some trees. And there's a little girl with her ball playing in the driveway. Anyway, she got really annoyed at me and goes, "Okay, that's it." Oh, okay. Well, whatever she was looking for me to say, I guess I didn't say it. So later on, I was talking to her mother and she brought it up. And I said, "Yeah, she just said, 'What's down here?' And I didn't know what she meant." She's like, "Oh, that was her asking her, 'Why are you going this way home?' I go a different way." Oh, I wouldn't have gotten that one. Um, then a few years pass, and she gets out of school. And she lives downstairs. We had a downstairs in-laws for her to live. And she came up one day when I'm watching TV with her mother, and she looked at me and said, "I locked myself out." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then her mother laughed. She goes, "She's asking permission to walk through so that she can use the other door in the basement." I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, of course." Maybe it's me. I don't know. I mean, I would never understand what that meant. I mean, I need people to say, "I locked myself out. I need to go through here to go in the other door," and then I would understand. But I'm glad it's my ex-wife because she spoke the same way. And her children had me scratching my head all the time trying to figure out what they said. I felt like we're talking different languages. Anyway, well, that said, this is the end, I guess, for today. If you have any annoying things that drive you nuts, I'd like to hear about them. Or if you have any thoughts or ideas on any of the ones that I mentioned, that would be great too. I haven't heard a lot, but I've heard some. I'd like to hear more. You got my information to reach me on the bottom there on the banner. So this is Reverend Bill signing off for the night. Take care. Hope it was good for you guys too.